If you're an owner operator and you're trying to decide whether to go with factoring or whether to work directly with brokers as far as the invoicing goes, this video is for you. My name is Enes. This is Never Stop Trucking, and I provide advices and share my experience as a dispatcher and a truck driver with owner operators, trucking companies, and dispatchers in Northern America. I know I have a lot of people watching me from all over the world, but even them, they are working for the US or Canadian market. If you are going to be factoring your loads and you need to know the procedure of submitting the invoices as opposed to procedure of sending invoices directly to brokers, then this video is for you. I have other videos talking about factoring, whether you should do factoring or not, and what factoring is the best. I also did an interview with a friend of mine that works for RTS, and then he spoke about factoring, and all these videos are on my channel. I'll try to include some of them in the description of this video, but this video is strictly about sending invoices and differences between these two ways of let's say funding your invoices or getting paid directly from the broker. Obviously, we all know that the biggest difference is that you don't pay a fee if you're sending brokers invoices directly, unless you do quick pay with them. But if you do a regular 30-day net, then usually they have no extra fees involved. You get 100% of what they owe you, as opposed to factoring. They charge a percent, anywhere from like 1 to 2 to 3% from the gross amount of that invoice. And there are a lot of other differences involved. Like I said, we're not going to talk about them in this video. I myself build brokers directly for about 2 years. Okay, so I have some good experiences with that. Okay, when you're doing invoices like that, usually nowadays brokers will accept invoices through email, and that's very convenient. That's very easy for you. Most of the brokers, I would say like 99% of the brokers, you can just send them an email, put those invoices in the email. Very easy. What you do, you have to have some kind of software that will produce an invoice. I use Trucking Office, and I have few videos on my channel about that as well, how to use Trucking Office. But there are other softwares around, more advanced or less advanced. It depends on your needs. But Trucking Office is good enough for the size of my fleet. Okay, so you produce an invoice. The invoice has to just state the company, your company name, and your address, and the broker's company name, and the load specifics, but very nothing too much, just like the city where it picked up and where it delivered, the dates, how much the load was paying, and you have to have your invoice number, and then also broker's load number or order number, whatever they use to identify that load. And that's very simple. So you have a software where you produce the invoice, you have the rate confirmation from the broker that they gave you for the load, and you have the bill of lading, proof of delivery from your driver, signed proof of delivery. And then these three documents, you either combine them together into one, or you can just, what I did is just like attach these three documents separately as three attachments in an email, and just send it to the broker. And that's very easy. Okay, some brokers have automatic software that replies to you like, hey, we received the email. Some of them don't, but usually this works 99% of the time. They just get it right away, and they pay you. If it's a decent broker. If it's a bad broker, then you are supposed to check them out before you do a load for them, and decide if you're gonna look up at the payment history, okay, and then decide if you're gonna work with them or not. So that's very easy. billing brokers like that, only rarely ever will they need nowadays originals, or you have to like mail them the invoice. That's very rare. Okay. Some of them you have to do it on their website. Some of them you can do it both ways, like TQL, CH Robinson, Coyote. You have a choice of if you're gonna do it on their website, or if you're gonna send them an email. So that's up to you. So you have a lot of options, and it takes you. It took me a very short amount of time to produce an invoice like that and send it to the broker. Just do an invoice, attach everything to the email, hit send. That's it. Okay. Now let's talk about factoring. I teamed up with RTS. You can check the description of the video, and you can contact a friend of mine. There is one guy for factoring, one for fuel discounts. So if you need factoring, and they'll give you a good deal. But anyway, if you're working with a factoring company, then it's a bit more complicated. Before you book a load, even if you're not factoring, you're supposed to check the broker. Like you can, go to DAT board, check them out, and brokercreditcheck.com. It's a free website where you can check brokers. You can check their reviews on that board or on Google. You gotta do what you gotta do. But with factoring, you have to go. Usually, they have a system on their website and database, and they will tell you whether you can book a load with that broker or not, whether they will buy that invoice from you. Okay, so if you're factoring, most likely you will send them that invoice, and it's in your interest to check the broker before you book the load. Okay, after they approve the broker, then you can proceed booking the load. The driver delivers the load. You're ready to invoice it. Then you have to produce an invoice. With RTS, you don't have to do an invoice. They just all they need is a rate confirmation and a bill of lading. Okay, when you have all those three documents, then you have to upload it to the factoring website, and they have different ways. Some of them you have to do like a spreadsheet, and then put everything, all these loads inside. Some factoring companies, you have to manually find a broker in their database and add it to the your customer database, and then you assign that load to that broker. Okay, so when you upload this invoice for this broker, you upload the invoice, you upload the rate confirmation, bill of lading, and so on, and then you keep going. So you have like 10 invoices to send at a time. You just upload them all and then hit send, and then it will send it to them. Chances are that factoring company will come back, say, hey, something is missing. The bill of lading is not clear enough, something is off, and then they will delete that one load, and you will have to re-upload it in your next batch with the correct load information. Brokers are usually less picky, okay, when you send them invoices directly. That's what I found out. Most of the time, they never ask for a better copy. Sometimes if there's a signature missing or they don't see, then they will ask you for that. But factoring companies are way more picky, probably because they have had bad experience with brokers not wanting to pay, and they just want to make sure that everything is perfect before they send it to them. Okay, so just know that if you're working with factoring company, your bill of lading has to be perfect. Okay, if your bill of lading says 1 of 2 on the top, that means that there is another page involved. There should be a 2 of 2 page, and if you don't have it, factoring company will send it back to you, say, hey, we need both pages of 3 or all 4 pages of the bill of lading. Brokers usually don't ask you for that. Sometimes, if they have to have it, like their customer has to have it, they will ask. But factoring companies are way more picky, just so you know. And in my opinion, my experience, submitting invoices to factoring companies is way more complicated and way longer. I am I need twice as much time to upload an invoice to a factoring company than to send it directly to the broker, just so you know that will be the case. But as we know, with factoring companies, you get your money right away, same day or next day. With brokers, you have to wait till they decide that they want to pay you, and that can take weeks or sometimes months. Okay. So again, check RTS in description of the video. My name is Enis. This is Never Stop Trucking. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you around.